Your specific person manifestation is guaranteed. Yes, guaranteed meaning 100%. And I'm going to tell you exactly how and why. Because right now you're probably asking, okay, but Kyle, how do you know this? And I know this because every stage of man's progress is made by the conscious exercise of his imagination, matching his inner speech to his fulfilled desire. Because man does not perfectly match them, the results are uncertain, while they might be perfectly certain. Basically, meaning the only reason you are not seeing what you want, so basically guaranteeing the opposite, is that our inner speech is not aligning with the outcome that we want. And the easiest way to do this is to imagine yourself as a planted seed as an apple tree. I know, sounds strange at first, but imagine you are an apple tree that produces apples. That's your sense of self and that's your ego. But in order to change it, you wouldn't focus on the apples, right? Your sense of who you are is just what you are manifesting and creating, and thus that is what you are embodying in your reality. But instead, if you wanted a peach instead of an apple, you wouldn't blame or try to change the apple. You would instead change the seed and plant a peach tree instead. That is going to get you to the outcome that you want much faster, meaning that we are never actually changing our sense of self. You're not going from a single state and changing that single state into a state of being in a relationship. You are actually stripping yourself of the state of being single, returning back to your state of consciousness or your I amness that Neville Goddard would say, and then you are taking upon the mindset and embodiment of someone in a relationship. That's how it becomes easy and effortless, and that's how it becomes guaranteed. Because right now, in your current state, your thoughts might not align with what you want. If you feel as if you are someone who is single, then your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, your inner speech and your actions are basically aligning that of someone who is single. But instead, we're not attempting to change these thoughts or change these actions into one that aligns with someone in a relationship. Instead, we are eliminating or ceasing the actions that continuously put ourselves into a state of being single. And instead, we are thus taking upon the actions of someone who is in a relationship and the inner speech of someone who is in a relationship. And I know this sounds very similar, but it is massively different because most of us worry about the apple. We try to change the apple into a peach in that metaphor. But instead, if we focus on the seed, everything will be so much easier because we feel as if in this state of being an apple, we worry about the physicalities of the apple that need to be different. So everything about an apple, it is very similar in shape, but it is much different from a peach. And so we might view ourselves in that way, thinking we have current limiting beliefs or conditions on our desire stopping us from being with our specific person. But that's not the case at all. Limiting beliefs are always in association with your current state. So if you feel as if there are previous things that have occurred or happening within your mind that you need to overcome in order to be the individual in your end state, that's actually just not the case. I actually use another metaphor that I'll review here because it might make it make more sense, and that is the metaphor of the actor or the actress. All the OGs of this channel know that you are the actor or the actress, you are not the character. And many times we attempt to become the character. So let's say we're playing as a pirate. We try to take the pirate and maneuver it into something that we want to do, which might be an astronaut. But to change a pirate into an astronaut is literally impossible, or it's very difficult. But if instead you remember that you have the consciousness to choose whatever you want, then you can return back to being an actor or actress, take off the costume of the pirate, and immediately put on the costume of the astronaut. Your limiting beliefs are not in your way. The only individual or state of being that they are in the way of is your current one, meaning that you feel as if you have to solve all your problems of your current state in order to be with your specific person, but that's not true. Your state and your sense of self and your consciousness never interact or are never in relation to one another. Your ego or your sense of self is created by your state of consciousness, but that is all in control of your state of consciousness, and thus in this moment, you can pick and choose something else. And hopefully, this is making everything seem so much easier because from that state of mind, we are going to stop focusing focusing on the conditions that we're setting on our desire or on our specific person. And we're going to focus on actually becoming the individual that already has it. Because in coaching sessions, people have a million different limiting beliefs or conditions, and sometimes it is good to focus on them, because if there is something physical you feel is blocking you, then you need to overcome it in order to get to where you want. But actually, you don't need to do anything. You can choose and pick and basically decide to be the individual in your end state, and there's nothing that could ever stop you, because who is holding you accountable or holding you in the current state except your sense of self? Your previous history or things that have happened to you absolutely mean nothing in what you could be right here and right now. What does the past have to do with you and your state at this current moment? What does it matter what has happened between you and your specific person if right now you can pick and choose to be something completely and entirely different? It is your choice in your continuation or the comfortability of your previous state that is the only reason we remain in it. But if you want comfortability, then that makes sense to remain in the state. But if you want your specific person, then we're going to have to do something else. And truly, when I say it's uncomfortable, the only reason it feels uncomfortable is because imagination always follows habit. So if we have habitually been in a state of being single, then it might feel strange to be in a state of being loved or desired or pursued or chased. But that doesn't mean it's bad, or doesn't mean it's something you should not do. It just means that your imagination will, at the beginning, attempt to return back to what you habitually thought about. But that's where, again, the inner speech is the main factor that is creating everything in your reality. And thus, your inner speech and action are the only things that we need to focus on. But actually, you could debate that you only have to focus on your inner speech, because your action is divine guidance that will immediately come from your inner speech, matching the state that you want. That's going to be automatic. When you're in the state, everything makes sense, everything is easy. You'll basically be compelled to complete these actions and emotions. Because when you are in the state, you literally cannot take a wrong action. Think about it in this way. When you're in the state, and I know you've felt in the state if you've been watching this channel, think about what circumstances or limiting beliefs come to your mind at that moment. And you're going to say, basically none, absolutely none. When you're in a confident state, you no longer care about what has happened in the past. When you're feeling abundant and positive and happy and loved, there's nothing that has happened in the past that could stop you from doing what you want right here and right now. Because again, it's not what has happened previously that is dictating what you're doing. It's your thoughts and decisions that you are making right now. It doesn't matter if in the past your actress version of yourself has played a pirate, or if you have grown apple trees in the past. It just matters what seed you are planting at this current moment. That's going to be the outcome that you create. So right now, take off the costume of being single and put on the costume of being in a relationship. Stop attempting to manipulate the apples into peaches, because that in itself is impossible. Instead, go back to the seed or the root cause, which is your inner speech, alter that, and everything is going to be so much more simpler. That's why your manifestation is guaranteed. And if you've ever thought in the opposite, it's again only because you're allowing your limiting beliefs to dictate your sense of self right now, when it really has nothing to do with your state. Your state of I amness or consciousness is literally everything. You can be anyone, you can be anything, you can be any name, you can be any occupation, you could manifest anything, you could be with anyone, you could do literally anything. Your I am consciousness is directly connected with your God state, and God has done everything. God is everything. So to say that you are connected or limited in any singular way is to say that God is limited in any particular or singular way, which we know obviously to be not true. So if you ever feel limited or feel like you can't do it, remember, if God can do it, then so can you, because you have the same exact power. And if you know for a fact that your manifestation is guaranteed, comment that in the comment section like an affirmation, setting it in stone, right? My manifestation is guaranteed. I am guaranteed to be with my specific person by whatever date that you want, or whatever outcome, or I'm guaranteed to receive a message from my specific person, a call, literally whatever it is that you want. Nobody is going to judge your desire, because your desire is yours. And so if you have the desire for anything, you're meant to complete it. And if you would like to as well, make sure to like this video, because the more people that see it, remember, everyone coming together to manifest for a singular outcome makes the manifestation a whole lot lot easier and a whole lot more simpler. So the more people that actually view this video, the easier your manifestation becomes. So share it, do whatever you want, watch it 10 times in a row. Anything to increase that is going to increase the speed of your manifestation. As always, after commenting your affirmation, make sure to comment all of your questions or successes in the comment section below, because I love hearing the updates on your manifestation. As well as this, if you did want to reach me personally, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.